Today I want to talk about the dreaded black pill, a term that's very pessimistic in the very way we say it. I've been familiar with the black pill for 2 years now, and it's the belief that genetics determine your entire physical attractiveness. Now, I believe it's quite a dystopian view on dating, which very much exists now, especially in the highly degenerate cities, let's say. And I'm going to explain where it appears, why it does, and also why it doesn't matter as much as they say at the end of this video. So the black pill is present mostly in highly developed Western countries, where plastic surgery and cosmetics are rife, where gym culture is huge, where when the sun is out, the guns are out. It is developed because of a certain behavior pattern within people of entitlement, and this applies to both men and women. So women have a tendency to date the best looking, most high status, confident man at a general level. Of course, there are all the niches in the world that other women have, which they tend to show in their interests in men, which has been made easier to discover with the emergence of internet forums. But it's also the belief that dating is a very hypergamous game. And the reason why it is now is because we have Instagram. Okay? And on Instagram, there are loads of models. Now, for us heterosexual men, we are looking at multiple people a day of people we know. It's like how Facebook started, they posted pictures, but obviously now Instagram is the meta, no pun intended, that we use to view other people's lives. Now, too many men now have looked on Instagram and they're basically watching softcore like teasing from these women, and it messes with their dopamine receptors and their general perception of women in their lives. So too many men now look at Instagram models, think they're sexy, and then they can no longer see the woman in their actual surroundings in a better way. This is because these Instagram models are using fake tanning, cosmetics, and Photoshop to look better. Yes, the product looks great, but it's not humanly realistic. Now, a lot of the general young men, they don't really see that. They just have their primal brain activated. They say, wow, she looks so hot. And it raises the standard for them, because when most of the women you're seeing throughout the day are Instagram models, that's consequently going to raise their standards for attractiveness in women, thinking that they can attract a higher caliber of women, when really they don't exist in their lives. The other women in their lives get shunned around, and they start to feel a bit flustered and lonely that these men just look at other women, because it's just not healthy to do that. You should be looking at your woman if you're in a relationship with her. See, many men do this while they're in a relationship with another woman. They look at the models on Instagram. Now, this also works vice versa. Women look for the highest tier man. They can see them everywhere on Instagram, even on Tinder and Bumble, the dating apps, on a daily basis. And usually, the more highly invested we are in the Western culture, the more we use dating apps and digital platforms to find love. Now, there are good professional sites where you can find marriage, but at this age, no one's looking for marriage, so they just go on Tinder, Bumble, and look at Instagram models and just look up to them and think, wow, he's so hot. So now their standards are also really high, and they will no longer go for men unless they are well above average looking. And this has ruined the dating market. This is exactly the point that the black pill has shown and proven, that in this society, it's harder than ever to get a partner. However, there is a belief that this is the way it is and how it always will be. But I believe that's not the case, because as people become more aware of the damaging effects of social media on them, they will start to disassociate away from them more and interact with the people who actually exist in their lives. Now, it's a bold assumption that this will happen, and I think it's unlikely to happen anytime soon. But I think people are starting to wake up to it now, that Instagram, Bumble, Tinder are ruining our perceptions of the people around us. And what actually matters is the life we live and the people in our neighborhoods and streets. So the fact that people are only dating up and their standards are raised is directly correlated with their intake of social media and their obsessive consumption of images of these good-looking men or women. So if you don't want your perception to be warped anymore and be part of the solution, stop following Instagram models and looking at the most attractive men or women on the internet, and start spending more time outside with your people. And of course, you can still be attracted to the more attractive women, but your standards must naturally be lowered before you can have any fun. This internet world has really raised the standard for dating and just living in general. It's literally inflation on a dating level. And there's a term for this. It's called hoflation. I know, it's a really silly word, but it works just like the cost of living rising in our homes and cities all around the world. And the only way to escape that is to metaphorically escape from society, which we're not going to fully do, but we want to disassociate from this damn toxic world that Instagram, Tinder and Bumble have bred. And I think people are starting to realise now. The question is, will you be part of the solution too? I'll let you decide that. I hope you can escape this culture with me too. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.